No. No. I haven't soldered since I was about 13 in school. Welcome to my shop. So guys, Volvo instrument clusters, or in other words, a pile of junk. Yeah, they're always broken, aren't they? They're nice to look at, but they don't work. I'm going to start with the 940 gauge because no dash lights. No dash lights at all. I removed that yesterday and it was really difficult actually. Thing. Why is it going to be like this? Man, it's never easy, is it? Oh yeah, good. They show you a picture of it. It shows you a picture of undoing the Phillips head screw once the plastic bezel is off. Yeah, because that's really helpful. Yeah, Phillips head screwdriver in the Phillips head screw. Yeah, that's quite obvious. I think once I can see the Phillips head screw, I don't need the picture. A picture of how to remove this with a clip, with a strong spring clip, would have been great. Says it's secured by Torx screws, the cluster, but there he is undoing a Phillips head screw. Haynes manual. Yeah, it's literally, it says push it in and pull it towards you. It's a strong thing. It's just not gonna work. I have to put so much force on it. I went from underneath, guys. Underneath with a long flat head, from the bottom, from the back, went in there and prized it. Couldn't really see what I was doing, but kind of got against the spring, prized against it to release it. That was really difficult, that was, to remove that. It's metal as well. How heavy that is. 4 Torx, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so I'll undo those. I'll slide the whole thing out, unplug it, and then we'll see what we can do. So I'm just unplugging everything, standard stuff. Alright, so there's the hardest one off. Doesn't look like it's been off before, which is a good sign. So yeah guys, just so you know you're watching the right video, it's a Yazaki one. There's 2 types, you get the video and the Yazaki. These ones are on the outside so that we can split the board. We might just have to go over and resolder all the joints just to know that they're all good for sure. But I want to open the board up first because sometimes, you know, there can be obvious issues there. So smells a bit weird. I was hoping I'd smell something or see something. Yeah, a lot of lights that I'm definitely not used to seeing at all. So I'll start with a speedometer. I'm starting to think now that the issue must be on the board, this blue board itself, because if there's an issue in this separate speedometer, I want to take this off. The lights should still light up, shouldn't they? Yeah, there we go. So now that one's free. Yeah, and now, you know, I just want to inspect inside there for anything burnt, anything leaking, anything like that, but I don't think it can be an issue with this. It's got to be with the board because this comes off separately, but maybe if there's a short in here somewhere on one of these gauges, it's throwing everything off and the lights aren't working either. I'm not sure, but I think there's a break there between those 2 solders. I can see a line. Is it cracked? Looks like something that does, doesn't it? Looks kind of familiar somehow, but I can't place it. But maybe we go over it. We get a soldering iron and we go around it and we see how it goes. Just a cheap thing, 30 watt. Let's see how much of a mess we can make of this thing. So I plugged it in, nice long cable. So there's no switch, it's just when it's plugged in, it's on. I haven't soldered since I was about 13 in school. No, actually I soldered a remote about 5 years ago, but that's about it. Oh, that is hot. Can we call that good? I feel like doing all of them now, actually. That was quite fun. But the problem is, I don't want to make more problems. If it works, it works. If not, we'll unplug it and bring it back in. It'll take 2 seconds. It is connected. It just looks but it should work, shouldn't it? Where does all this go now? Let's see. No. No. Oh man, it's not, that wasn't it. No, same. So yeah, it's at this point I realised that that solder was not correct. I did a cold solder and I let the solder flow over the existing joint, and that's not the right way to do it. I actually just went back onto the page where there's a walkthrough on doing this, because there's a guy, it's one of the Volvo forum pages. There's a complete walkthrough. I'll put a link to it in the description. There's a guy that has exactly the same problem as I have. Same lights that don't work, one light that does, same gauges, and it's the exact same problem. And he found a broken joint. He showed a picture of it. He said you should use a magnifying glass, and I see why, because even the picture that he's included is quite a good picture, but you just can't see any issue with the joint. I mean, I can't anyway, but I'm obviously not, I don't have a trained eye for it. Yeah, and he said about going around and soldering everything, so just revisited that and just checked. And he said that I shouldn't do exactly what I just did, which is cold solder, heating up the wire, putting it over the existing joint. You've got to hold onto the existing joint, heat that up, then add the wire. So yeah, I'm still learning myself. I know soldering is quite a basic thing, but I've just never had to do it. Like I say, I soldered a remote once because it wasn't working. I reconnected a joint and that was it, I think. And then apart from that, when I was like a teenager in school, using the soldering iron to like write my name into the wood table and stuff, like I don't have a clue. So yeah, guys, I did that wrong. I'm gonna do it again. And yeah, make sure it's done properly, test it. But I'll just go around the whole board and just do them all, hopefully properly, and then we'll see. It's annoying how it's like nothing, 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 everything. That was a nice one. I think that was a good one. The camera wasn't even pointing directly at it. But I think that's how it should look. A nice fresh ball. Any joy? Yes! Ah, yes! Takes a few cranks to start, doesn't she? Got a bulb out somewhere. It's not going out. So, the clusters are working in this car and in the 740. But we don't have a speedometer, a working speedometer or odometer therefore in either. So the next thing to do, which was kind of the first thing to do, but well, we needed to take the cluster out of this one anyway because we didn't have any lights, is test the sensor, test the speed sensor. Swapped out the bulb for the lambda sensor one and it's working now, so it was just a bulb. So we thought we'd just stop by at the old shed. So what does it say then, Miss Involvo'd?
The new community garden is growing here. A garden for the community to grow stuff and visit and do stuff.
They've got the bench installed.
Oh yeah.
Couldn't they put a new one in? Or have they fitted an old bench?
It looks quite old, yeah.
It would have been nice if that was here when I was here.
Yeah.
Somewhere to sit out of the shit.